Welcome back to our discussion on how to compute duties, taxes, and other charges for containerized cargoes discharged at the South Harbor or the Manila International Container Port. So, this is our second video. Brief summary of what we have tackled already. On the first video, we have discussed already how or the theoretical side of how to compute for your dutiable value. Okay, so just a quick rundown. So you have 4 elements. So you have your customs value, you have your dutiable freight, then next your dutiable insurance, and lastly your dutiable other charge. So since we have already gone through the components of dutiable value, our next discussion or this second video, we will be discussing the components of your landed cost. Okay, your components of your landed cost will be first your dutiable value, which we have already, again, as I summarized earlier, which we discussed in our first video. Okay, so next component would be our customs duty, followed by our bank charge. The next one is our brokerage fee. This is regulated by under Customs Administrative or governed by Customs Administrative Order 1-2001. The next is our Warfage due, which is under Customs Memorandum Order 26-95 and Customs Memorandum Order 4-2006 and Customs Memorandum Order 7-2014. Followed by our arrastre charge, which is governed by Customs Memorandum Order 26-95C and CMO 7-2014. The next is your customs documentary stamp, which is fixed at 280 pesos. Then lastly is our import processing fee or IPF, which is governed by Customs Administrative Order 2-2001. So that is the components of our landed cost. So let's not talk about the details. We have discussed already your dutiable value, right? So the customs duty, your customs duty is governed by your section 1610 of your CMTA, right? In which, so depending on how you would classify your goods, there is a corresponding rate of duty, okay, for each product. Once you have classified it and you know already the rate of duty, you just simply multiply that rate of duty to your dutiable value in peso to come up with your customs duty. Okay. The next is your bank charge. So your bank charge, basically, if you are your bank charge, if you are using LC as your modes of payment, you need to indicate a bank charge in the elements of your landed cost, which is, this is 1/8 of 1% of your DV or 0.00125 multiplied by your DV. Okay, so you will get already your bank charge. But take note, if you are if your mode of payment is other than letters of credit, let's say telegraphic transfer, you don't need to put a bank charge. Okay, so bank charge, you just add it into your landed cost when your mode of payment is under letters of credit. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Okay. So kapag bank charge po, kapag LC, you need to put bank charge. Kapag other than LC yung mode of payment, hindi nyo na po kailangan lagyan ng bank charge. Let's now go to your brokerage fee. Okay, So, yung sa brokerage fee nyo po, no? So, based on your CAO 1-2001, okay? So, customs brokerage fees covered by formal or warehousing entries and transshipments, may table po siya. Okay? So, depending kung ano po yung amount ng dutiable value nyo, may corresponding rate siya. So, you can see that table in your CAO 1-2001. Okay? But if your dutiable value is over 200,000 pesos, okay? So, ang magiging formula nyo na po is 5.3, okay, plus 1/8 of 1% in excess, okay, ng 200,000. Okay, kapag more than 200,000 siya, so 5.3 plus 1/8 of 1%. So, to simplify, diba, medyo parang komplikado, no, sa computation. To simplify, di ba kanina nabanggit natin sa bank charge 0.00125, tama po, ng dutiable value. That is your bank charge. So dito, para hindi po kayo ma-confuse, no, kapag more than 200,000 po ang inyong dutiable value, okay, gagana lang po itong formula na to kapag more than 200,000, ha. Please take note, ang dutiable value nyo. So if it's more than 200,000, it's the formula for your brokerage fee, shortcut formula po to, no? 5,050, okay, plus 0.00125 of your dutiable value. Okay. So yun po, yun ang ating formula. Okay. So basically para po siyang 5,050 plus bank charge. Yun po. So that's the other way of stating it, no? Formula-wise. So, para po, kasi kung yung 1/8 of 1% pa, diba, in excess of the 200,000, so medyo mahaba po yung formula. So, shortcut na po namin yon. So, next one, let's now go to in computing your arrastre and warfage. So, before we discuss it, there is a criteria, no, in computing your arrastre and warfage for assessment purposes. So first, you need to determine the port of discharge. Kasi iba po yung assessment ng arrastre warfage kapag outports at kapag major ports, no? But don't confuse yourself first. Ito pong pinag-uusapan natin ngayon is for the major ports muna, no? Yung MIP, via sea, no? MICP, and Port of Manila or South Harbor. Then, yun na nga po, determine kung ano yung applicable issuance. So, in this case, since major ports ang pinag-uusapan natin, ang applicable issuance niya is your CMO 7-2040. Okay? So, yun po, based on that issuances, you can now determine kung ano yung applicable arrastre or warfage rates. So, we have discussed kung ano po yung criteria. So, now, what is arrastre? Okay? So, by definition, arrastre, it is the amount which the owner, consignee, or agent of either of the merchandise has to pay for the receiving, handling, and custody of the merchandise imported or for export. Okay. So, yan po yung ating definition ng arrastre. So, basically, yan po yung binabayaran natin doon sa operators, kay ICTSI, kay arrastre operator, kay ICTSI, or kay ATI. So, ATI po is Asian Terminals Incorporated, is a South Harbor, arrastre operator, and yung ICTSI naman po is your arrastre operator sa MICP. Alright. So, based on your CMO 7-2014, no? As I mentioned, the law governing your arrastre charges for assessment purposes, may table po na nakalagay doon. So, just grab a copy and makikita nyo po very clear naman po yun. For example, kung 20-footer po yung inyong shipment, ang arrastre charge nyo po is, for import po, no? For import is 3,727 pesos. No, that is exclusive of VAT. And kung 40-footer naman po, per container, no, it's 8,551 pesos. So yung amount na po yan po ang gagamitin nyo doon sa pag-compute. No, for assessment, please take note, this is for assessment purposes. Okay? So, huwag nyo pong i-confuse yung sarili nyo. Ito po kasi yung binayaran namin na actual. Hindi po. Huwag nyo po isipin yun. May regulation po, which is CMO 7-2014, na nagmamandate na ito yung rates na kailangan nyo gamitin kapag for assessment purposes. Ibig sabihin, pag magpo-compute kayo ng duties and taxes, and in turn, yun din po yung i-declare nyo na computation sa E2M, no? In filling up your single administrative document. So, I hope klaro po yun ha. Huwag pong ma-confuse doon sa actual na binayaran. Okay, hindi po yun ang gagamitin. Ang gagamitin po is yung rates na nakalagay sa CMO 7-2014. Okay po. Right. So makikita nyo doon sa table, you have your FCL for or your full container load for import and export, and nandun po yung mga shut out cargo rates, no? But these are for assessment purposes. Let's go to your Warfage, no? What is your Warfage? Okay. It is the amount assessed against the cargo of a vessel engaged in foreign or coastwise trade based on the quantity, weight, or measurement received and or discharged by such vessel, either the owner, consignee, or agent of the merchandise is liable for such charge. So, Warfage, usually po, ito sinisingil po ng PPA, okay, or Philippine Ports Authority. But again, huwag po maguluhan. Yung discussion natin is for assessment purposes. Ibig sabihin, para lang po sa computation ng duties and taxes po ito, ha? Wala pong kinalaman yung actual na binabayaran. Alright, so, for your Warfage charges, you need to refer again to CMO 7-2014. So, may table na naman po siya ron. So, kung import cargo po siya na full container load, ang 20-footer nyo po, ang rate na ilalagay nyo is 519.35, that is exclusive of VAT. Sa 40-footer nyo naman po, it's 779 pesos 0.05 cents. Okay, so on and so forth. So, yan po yung mga amounts na kailangan yung gamitin. Depende kung 20, 40, o 45-footer ba yung container na pinarating nyo. And of course, please do not forget, per container po itong rate, no? Yung sa arrastre and dito sa Warfage as indicated in your CMO 7-2014. Huwag nyo po kalimutan i-multiply doon sa number of containers. Kunyari, 10 by 40. So, you need to multiply the Warfage or arrastre rate per container sa number of containers. Okay? Baka makalimutan nyo po kasi. Okay. To continue. Okay. So, let's now discuss your IPF, no? Your import processing fee. So, there is a table based on your CO 2-2001 that states the rates and customs fees and charges for your IPF. No? So, yung IPF nyo po for formal and informal entities, ang table nyo po is yung dutiable value, no? Based on dutiable value, no? Up to 250,000 pesos. Your IPF is 250. So, hindi po mahirap tandaan. From 0 to 250, ang rate is 250 pesos. So, over 250 hanggang 500,000 pesos, ang rate is 500. So, di ba po, yung dulo-dulo lang ang tatandaan. Then, over 500,000 pesos, up to 750,000 pesos ng dutiable value, ang IPF rate is 750 pesos. Okay. Then next, over 750,000 pesos, ang IPF rate is 1,000 pesos. So, apat lang po yun, no? So, it's not hard to remember kasi yung dulo-dulo lang. Diba? Yung up to 250, so 250 siya. Up to 500, so 500 din po siya. Up to 750,000, so 750 naman po. Then, over 750,000 pesos, 1,000. Okay? Alright, so since alam na natin, no, how to compute all the components of your landed cost, let's go to your summary. Okay? So, isa-summarize na natin yung computation natin. From the top. So, COD, okay, ito po yung dutiable value nyo times yung rate of duty. Okay? So, that's the first line of your summary. Second line of your summary, or second item, is your value-added tax. How do you compute that? By simply multiplying 12% to your landed cost. Okay? Yun po kung walang excise tax. Okay? Pero kung may excise tax po siya, your VAT would be landed cost plus whatever is your excise tax is, then times 12%. Okay? You add your landed cost and excise tax, then saka nyo i-multiply ng 12% to come up with your VAT. Opo. So, I hope that's clear. Then, next item, if any lang po kung meron, excise tax. No? You have to indicate in your summary your excise tax. Next is your IPF. Okay? So, as discussed earlier, no? So, depende kung sa value ng goods nyo. Then next one, okay, the fifth one, you need to indicate your container security fee. Ano ba po yung container security fee or how much? That is $5 per 20 footer or $10 per 40 footer. Okay. So, yun po yung amount. No? Kunyari, ang shipment nyo is 10 by 40. Alright? So, you have to, yung container security fee nyo is $10 per 40 footer. So, you need to multiply it by 10 containers. So, that is a total of $100. Okay? So, yung $100 na yon, using the exchange rate, no, na we have discussed during the first video, yun ang gagamitin nyo to convert it to peso. Kasi lahat po nung items dito sa summary nyo is naka Philippine peso na po. Okay? So lastly, ng summary nyo is your customs documentary stamp, which is fixed at 280 pesos. So you add all those items, no? To recap, your customs duty, your VAT, excise tax, if any, then you have your IPF, your CSF, your container security fee, and your CDS or customs documentary stamps. You add those, so yun na po yung magiging composition nyo ng duties, taxes, and other charges. Okay, yun na po yun. Take note, ito, pakitandaan po ito. Siyempre po, may mga decimal points po yung computation natin. Tama po? Pag nag-round off tayo, etc. So, laging 2 decimal points. Pag nilagay nyo po yung, kunyari, nag-compute kayo ng customs duty, meron siyang, let's say, may butal siya, may cent siya na 0.20. Okay, whatever the whole number is, then may 0.20. Kapag ang decimal point po is less than 0.5, no? Pag less than 0.5 po siya, tanggalin nyo na lang po. Just remove the cents. Kunyari, 1,000.20. Okay, yung customs duty. So, magiging, pag sinulat nyo siya sa summary, magiging 1,000 na lang siya. Okay? Right. Pero kapag 0.5 naman po siya pataas, so kunyari, it's either 0.5 or 0.6 or 0.7, kunyari 1,000.5, i-round off nyo na po yun sa nearest full number. So magiging yung 1,000.5 magiging 1,001 na po siya. Okay? So I hope you were able to follow. Importante po yun kasi yung duties and taxes po, yung total customs duties, taxes, and other charges po natin, whole number lang po. Wala po siyang decimal point. Yun po yung rationale doon. That's why I hope everybody was able to follow our the second part of our theoretical discussion. So please stay tuned for our third and last video, which is we will apply all those that we have learned here in the first two videos. So magkakaroon po tayo ng practical application para mas for your better understanding nung sa theoretical part. So again, thank you very much and stay safe.